Why learning feels hard, and why that's okay. Hey there, lifelong learners. Let's talk about something we all face, those moments when learning feels really tough. You know what I mean, right? When you're trying to pick up a new skill, learn a language, or dive into something exciting, but at some point you hit a wall. You feel stuck, frustrated, maybe even ready to quit. I totally get it, but here's the thing. That feeling, it's part of the process. It's actually a good sign. It means your brain is working, rewiring, stretching in ways it hasn't before. And the best part? If you push through, breakthroughs are just around the corner. So today, let's chat about how to stay motivated when learning feels hard. Not just tips or theories. I want to share real stories, relatable struggles, and simple ways to make sure you don't give up. Let's dive in. Lesson 1. Struggle means you're learning. Okay, so first, let's get one thing straight. Struggling doesn't mean you're bad at something. It means you're getting better. Think of it like going to the gym. If you lift weights that are too easy, your muscles don't grow. But when you push yourself, when it burns a little, that's when the magic happens. Learning works the same way. The brain science behind it. Every time you struggle to learn something new, your brain is actually building connections. It's like paving a brand new road where there wasn't one before. At first, it's rough, messy, and takes effort. But the more you use it, the smoother and faster it becomes. Research shows that when we make mistakes and correct them, our brain forms stronger neural pathways compared to when we get something right on the first try. This is why some of the best learners aren't the ones who are naturally gifted. It's the ones who are willing to struggle through the hard parts. A story that proves it. Thomas Edison. Yeah, the light bulb guy failed over 1,000 times before he finally got it right. Imagine failing that many times. But when asked about it, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." I love that mindset. He didn't see failure as a stop sign, he saw it as part of the journey. Next time you feel stuck, just remind yourself, this means I'm learning. How to apply this in your learning. Reframe frustration. Instead of thinking, I'm terrible at this, say, I'm getting stronger. Track small progress. Keep a journal where you write down small wins. Over time, you'll see how much you've grown. Celebrate mistakes. Each mistake is a step forward. Reflect on what you learned from it. Lesson 2. Find your why. You ever notice how some people just don't quit, even when things get ridiculously hard? It's not because they have superpowers, it's because they have a strong reason to keep going. The two kinds of motivation. There are external motivations and internal motivations. External motivation, doing something because you want a reward, like passing a test or getting a raise. Internal motivation, doing something because it matters to you, because it excites you. Guess which one lasts longer? Yep, internal motivation. J.K. Rowling's Why. Before Harry Potter became a worldwide success, J.K. Rowling was struggling, big time. She was a single mom, living in poverty, rejected 12 times by publishers. Can you imagine? But she didn't stop. Why? Because she loved writing. She believed in her story. That was her fuel. How to find your why. Ask yourself, why am I learning this? Go deeper. Why does it matter to me? Keep going until you hit an emotional reason. Write your why on a sticky note and place it where you can see it every day. When you feel unmotivated, revisit your why and remind yourself why you started. So what's your why? Why are you learning this skill? Why does it matter to you? Find your reason, it'll keep you going when things get tough. Lesson 3. Tiny steps are the secret to stick. Ever set a huge goal and then just felt overwhelmed? I know I have. The trick? Break it down. How the 1% rule changes everything. James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, talks about the 1% rule. The idea that if you improve by just 1% every day, you'll be 37 times better by the end of the year. Crazy, right? A simple way to apply this, instead of saying, I need to learn English, say, I'll learn 5 new words today. Instead of I want to get fit, say I'll do 10 push-ups right now. Tiny actions lead to big results. Just start small. Lesson 4. Overcoming self-doubt. Mistakes are proof you're trying. I used to be terrified of making mistakes, but then I realized mistakes are literally how we learn. Let's be real. Sometimes the biggest obstacle isn't the subject itself, but our own mind. Self-doubt is a motivation killer. Thoughts like, I'm not smart enough or I'll never get this can stop you in your tracks. The inner critic versus the inner coach. We all have an inner critic, that voice in our head that tells us we're not good enough. But we also have an inner coach, a voice that encourages us to keep going. Which voice do you listen to? Reframing self-doubt. Instead of I can't do this, say I can't do this yet. Instead of I always fail, say every mistake helps me improve. Instead of I'm bad at this, say I'm still learning. A powerful story of resilience. Albert Einstein, one of the greatest minds in history, was once told he wouldn't amount to much. He didn't even speak fluently until he was 4 years old. But did he let self-doubt stop him? Nope. He pushed through. Michael Jordan's big failure. Did you know Michael Jordan was actually cut from his high school basketball team? Imagine if he had quit right then and there. Instead, he used that failure as motivation to train harder. And, well, we all know how that turned out. Instead of thinking, I failed, try saying, I learned. That shift makes all the difference. The lesson is, doubt is just a thought. It doesn't have to define you. Lesson 5. The power of a learning community. Make learning fun. When something feels like a chore, we naturally avoid it. So why not make learning exciting? Ever notice how learning with others makes things easier? That's because community fuels motivation. Why learning alone is hard. When you're alone, it's easy to feel discouraged. But when you surround yourself with people who share your goals, something amazing happens. You feel inspired, challenged, and supported. The mirror effect. Psychologists call it the mirror effect. We tend to reflect the behaviors of those around us. So if you spend time with passionate, driven learners, guess what? You'll become one too. How to build your learning tribe. Join groups, whether online or in person. Find a study group or a learning community. Find a mentor, someone who's ahead of you can guide and motivate you. Be accountable. Tell a friend about your goal. Check in regularly. Learning doesn't have to be a solo journey. Find your people. Ways to make it enjoyable. Turn it into a game. Apps like Duolingo are great at this. Study with a friend. Learning together keeps things fun. Challenge yourself. Set mini goals and reward yourself. Find a way to make learning feel like play, and you'll never lose motivation. Final thoughts. Keep going. Learning will have ups and downs. Some days you'll feel unstoppable. Other days you'll feel like quitting. That's normal. The key is to keep showing up. Progress isn't always obvious, but trust me, it's happening. So next time learning feels hard, remember, 1. Struggle means you're learning. 2. Your why will keep you going. 3. Small steps lead to big wins. 4. Self-doubt is just a thought, it's not reality. 5. Community makes learning easier. You've got this. Keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, don't give up.